Especially in Cabarrus County right now, I'm hearing a lot of talk about home values. There's a misconception that I think needs to really be cleared up. People use the term spiked when talking about home values a lot these days, but that's not really accurate. A spike infers a sudden, steep jump immediately followed by an equally sudden and steep drop. If shown on a graph, it looks like an actual spike. When home values jumped dramatically first in 2020, a spike is exactly what we thought it was. And then it lasted and lasted and got worse and worse. Mortgages were in forbearance and the market was crazy, but everyone thought after 2 weeks it would bounce out and get back to normal. Then in 2021 and 2022, slightly longer than 2 weeks by the way, the insane bidding wars were at their all-time worst. Offers going in sight unseen, $100,000 over list price, appraisal gap waivers, you name it. Home values were appreciating at 20% year over year. No way that can last. The bottom's got to fall out soon, right? June 2023, inflation reports go nuts. Mortgage rates spike, oops, there's that term again, to 5%. Again, this can't keep up. Marry the house, date the rate. Well, it turns out those 5% rates were indeed not permanent at all. They took off into the 8s. And home prices continue to rise, and despite affordability being an all-time low, the values continue to appreciate in homes. At some point, it's got to stop. Let's just wait for home prices to come back down. There's going to have to be a foreclosure boom coming. Nobody can afford this, so the market will correct itself, right? Wrong. No foreclosure boom. In fact, the needle hasn't even moved 4 years into the spike. There has been over a full year of market tightening, which people said would bring home prices down. So let's look at some of the data and see how that went. The Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which is the gold standard for appreciation, released their final numbers in 2023. In 2023, home prices in America rose by 5.6%. In the Charlotte market, that rose 8%. That means in Charlotte, if you bought a house last year for $400,000, today it's worth $432,000. Since July 2019, home values have risen 46%. The values are not going back down. The $120,000 starter home is gone, just like our parents' $40,000 starter home. And homes will continue to appreciate at a much slower rate than they did during the spike, but appreciate nonetheless. The value may slow down, but they will not go down. That $400,000 house last year that's worth $432,000 right now, if it even appreciates at 2%, which is very conservative, it'll be worth $440,000 at this time next year. If you waited for mortgage rates and home prices to go down last year when that house was $400,000, by the way, they didn't, but let's just say mortgage rates dropped 1%. Your mortgage payment is not lower and your down payment is actually about $6,500 more for that same house. Really, rates are the same, so your payment is actually $220 more per month for that same house with that higher down payment. Homes are just not going to be worth less than they are right now for the foreseeable future. There's an old saying, it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. If it's time for you to buy a house, then don't day trade yourself into a hole trying to time the market. Let me help you set up a strategic plan to make a smart financial decision.